And we are back. Appreciate everybody for tapping in with us on this thrilling edition of the Doing All Right this beautiful Wednesday. Wednesday. Bros, we're going to be breaking down the listen, let me just be clear because there's no shame in my game.
Right.
They're the Washington Commanders for anybody that's watching for the first time and they don't understand what I mean when I say I don't respect people that can't beat Cooper Rush. You know what I mean? It was like a bet that I made amongst my audience, right?
Right.
Hey, Voch, why don't you call them Commanders? Why don't you?
Yeah.
And I thought the name was goofy. I just think Commanders is a terrible name. It doesn't roll off the tongue very long. And I was like, you know what? If they can demand my respect and go out there and win a game versus the Cowboys, then I'll call them Commanders. Cooper Rush was the quarterback for that game.
Sure.
They lost to damn Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the Washington football damn Wizards until I feel like they
What did you feel like, not to make this a Washington football, what did you think about the Washington Football Club?
Washington Football Club was fine. Because that's what
I kind of thought it was good too.
Because that's
but I grew up in the era of the Redskins, of course.
Names like that are very flexible. So the Washington football team would have been fine. Because you can say the Dallas football team or the Dallas Cowboys football club, the Dallas football club. You can say any of those names.
Yeah. It's Washington football team,
But if we rolled out as the Dallas Silly Nannies, I'm not calling us the Dallas Silly Nannies. I'm either keep calling us Cowboys or I'm just going to say the Dallas football team or the Dallas football or the Dallas football Mavericks is what I'll probably call them. Washington is in constant push and pull with their name. I think they're trying to change the name again.
Yeah.
I'm going to call them the Washington Football Wizards until further notice, Bryan Broaddus.
Their fan base has never given you grief like the Eagles fan base in all your years of covering this team.
I was going to say yesterday on the break, Brian, I care nothing about the Giants and the Washington team's fans. I care nothing about their fans.
They don't irritate you. See, when I grew up, the Washington Redskins as a fan base, they really irritated Cowboy fans.
Probably because they won more in your time.
Yeah. They were a difficult team to have to deal with. Like growing up at Texas Stadium and going to games for 20 years. Yeah, the Washington fans, not to the level now what the Philly fans are.
Sure.
Philly fans are a completely different group that way. Yeah.
If you like, for example, if like Bennett's he's a Cowboy fan.
He's
right?
a Cowboy fan.
Cowboy fan. Bennett doesn't have an issue with Giants fans at all.
No.
His whole life, Dak has been beating the hell out of the Giants. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have a reference point for that. The Giants games were a little more competitive, like in the Eli days for me,
right,
or whatnot. But I wasn't even always Eagle hating guy. Like when like the Donovan days or whatever, I wasn't really too big like an Eagle hater. I can't stand the people now. Yeah. But I've never had a problem with the Washington people, and now currently I don't have an issue.
It's funny about the Philadelphia people. When I worked there that one season, people would ask me, "Where are you from? Where are you from?" And I would say, "I'm from Waco. I'm from Austin." I would never say I was from Dallas because they would try and make your life an absolute hell if they knew you were from Dallas.
So how about this, Bryan Broaddus? The Dallas Cowboys are a global team.
Right.
There's a lot of Cowboy fans in the DMV area.
Yeah.
Foots lives out there. Shouts out to Foots the King.
Shouts out to Foots.
Foots lives out there. Foots was texting me and Will still. We're friends in real life. And he was like, "Man, I can't stand these Washington Washington people." Yeah. It's because he's close to Washington fans.
Right.
Because his fans out there in the DMV.
Right.
I don't see DMV people in Texas.
Right.
So I don't even see him. So maybe he has a bigger issue. And maybe because there's Cowboy fans in New York as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they run into more Giants issues here. But us being in Texas, all I really see is like the Eagles. And I can't stand it.
Real quick story if I could.
Hell yeah.
We were standing on the sign. So I work for DallasCowboys.com. You talk about the Eagles fans and stuff. We're standing there at the stadium there. I was on the sidelines, and Dallas was winning the game. And I'm standing there on the sidelines, and the security guy next to me goes, "Hey, Broaddus." And he's looking into the stands, but he's kind of like whispering to me. I'm standing next to the guy. I go, "Yeah?" He goes, "Hey, man, great job today." And I'm looking. I'm like, "Are you a Cowboy fan?" He had his that yellow windbreaker on. Yeah. He took his shirt down. He had a Cowboy T-shirt on underneath his security, but he was a Cowboy fan.
Very Illuminati-like.
Yeah, no, but he was like, he was sitting there. He was looking at me. He goes, Broaddus. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, Yeah, it's a good one today.
You didn't say how the hell you know me. What are you saying my name for?
No, man. I didn't. I'll tell you what, the guy who, actually another one too for me, the guy who ran the Sheridan Hotel right across the street from the old Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
Cowboy fan. And I would bring him gear. I'd bring him some stuff, some swag, and he would like, hey man, can you put it in a box? I really can't be showing people, but yeah, the guy ran. I got taken care of when I was there scouting the Giants. Yeah. I had the best room on the concierge meals. I was. My man took care of me for sure on that. But yeah, it was fun. You'd be surprised the number of Cowboy fans that are in those locales.
You talking about Cowboy fans? Bryan Broaddus has range, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Bryan Broaddus is the one that got people tapping in with him. And we here to talk about these Washington football.
Yeah, we are. Brian. We are.
We was getting ready to talk about draft up here, Brian. You remember a couple weeks ago, Brian? Brian, you remember a couple weeks ago?
I already asked Dane Brugler for his list. We got this list.
Brian, we was in this thing.
Yeah.
Voch. If we lose to Carolina, I'm just all listen. Brian used a lot more cuss words. He's listen, man. If we lose to freaking Carolina, I'm just gonna freaking just. Yeah. I'm gonna call Dane. Yeah. I'm just gonna get a list. We're just gonna move on and get a list match.
Yeah.
We lost to Carolina.
We did.
But Philly lost to the Giants and lost to Chicago.
Brought me back in. They brought me back in. We
got 7 more days, bro. We live.
We're living and dying right now. I'll tell you what, though. That draft bus, I could hear the engine running. I could hear the engine running over the draft bus because Mel Kiper put out his first big board report yesterday. So, yeah, we had a little discussion about that. I felt a little naked that I didn't know like those top guys, but I have a feeling we're getting started on this pretty soon.
Yeah, we ain't got long. But Brian, you seem like that's where we are now. Like,
no, I hate it. What
I'm saying is, like, Brian, the Cowboys are a team right now to where, and I have my little phrase that I've been saying throughout the week, man. But I feel like they can go out there and beat Washington.
They absolutely can. They absolutely can.
But they'll lose to Arizona the next week, Brian. That's just where we're at.
Absolutely can.
I'm going to ask some big picture Cowboy questions, and then I'm going to get into Washington.
Washington.
Do you think it's realistic that the Cowboys pull 59 off the field? We'll go player by player. 59. Do you think at least Brian Schottenheimer has shown us that he's willing to make changes to pull dudes off the field, put some other guys on the field? 59 doesn't rotate a whole bunch.
Yeah.
He's a green dot guy.
Yeah.
We got multiple green dot guys. Clark and Leofau are also green dot guys.
Yeah.
But he's the main one. He doesn't really get off the field. Do you think that the coaches are going to see Kenneth Murray's film this week? Horrific film. The worst game I've seen him play all year, and he's had some terrible games all year. This was the worst. Do you think that the Cowboys will see that and make an adjustment and maybe lower his reps a little bit?
No, I don't. I really don't.
He's going to run right back out there.
They're going to put him right back out there. Yeah, that's, Now, let's see what happens, though. Let's see what happens though with some of the injuries and stuff that they have. Let's see if you get back Jack Sanborn. You brought up a really good point last week. Actually, after we did the post game stuff, you said this would have been a really good game for Sanborn when it just came to downhill running and things like that and going and making tackles. Yeah. But let's see what happens there. It might be some of the changes that the general manager, Stephen Jones, Will McClay are asking for. Okay, how do we navigate some of this run stuff? Because you're about to get into a team, and we'll talk about this. They run the ball very similar to how you run the ball, and so you need that ability to identify the pullers. You need to identify the trappers. You need to identify the down blocks as a linebacker. You can't play hesitant in this football game, and that's really what Kenneth Murray has had. He's played where sometimes the reaction times just haven't been quick enough. But I just don't feel like that they're going to pull him off the field right now. But let's see what Sanborn's availability is this week, because that might give him a better option to do something like that.
You're on Twitter, but you're not like super active in the streets, Brian. There's a little thing going around Twitter streets. Bob Stern.
Yeah.
He tweeted out some stuff that he did. There was one play where Sam Williams was getting whooped by number 17, was able to get.
Yeah.
He tweeted about it. He was like, hey, man, my defensive end getting whooped by a wide receiver, whatever. And Sam basically retweeted it with a laughing emoji.
Sure.
Now, Brian, I was trying to cut Sam this offseason, you know what I'm saying? But
sure.
Micah left, so we kind of stuck with him, you know?
Right.
They're not taking 59 off the field. 54 plays a ton of reps.
She does.
A crap ton of them.
Yeah.
You think this is maybe a week where we see less of him? 54, Sam Williams?
Well, the thing about him is that you've seen where he does get blocked. And you see where there's things where he's the one guy to me that is capable. They tried some run stunts with him last week. You know, we broke these things down. You know, you start to talk about, hey, it looks like that it's a down run stunt. It's a linebacker on the outside, nobody over the top. So those kinds of things look bad. You're like, well, what's he doing? Is he just playing hero ball? I mean, that question was asked yesterday of Brian Schottenheimer. You know, our buddy Clarence Hill goes, oh, hero ball. They playing here. And Shotty really didn't know what hero ball was. And then all of a sudden, hero ball became a talking point throughout the press conference. But, yeah, this is where you're kind of at right now with Sam Williams, though. Is he doing everything he's supposed to do? Is the injury still bothering him? You know, I think the sample size of the time, you know, we need to see more from Sam Williams. We need to see more explosiveness. We need to see better run fits. We need to see him win more blocks. It's just been a real difficult struggle for him. He's playing way too tall. But to your point, yeah, you might want to see. The biggest problem you're running into, Voch, is that when you start to talk about replacing guys, who are you replacing them with?
Sure.
Do you have any more faith in
I think Donovan Ezra-Rocco is playing much better as a young
See,
guy.
that's what I'm saying.
I would love to have more James Houston. I think his run game, that's all a myth. Like,
you think it's a myth?
His run great. Like, because if you're going to be terrible in the run anyway, at least have your best pass rusher on the field in the event that they do throw the football, Brian.
Yeah.
Clowney's not giving you much.
I totally agree with you on that.
Not much at all. So even if you don't pull Sam off the field, there's no reason for Sam to have 35-plus reps.
I agree with you. I think, to me, I'm to the point where, and maybe this is coaches know better than me, but the fact that Houston's only playing somewhere between 12 and 18 reps a game, I think that needs to stop. I think that you're going to now need to find ways to get some time. If it's run blitzes, if it's whatever you have to do to be disruptive in these games, you're going to have to go to. You can't just sit there and play toe-to-toe with somebody. You're going to have to move fronts. You're going to have to be able to fit some runs and stuff like that. I think with James Houston, he does. If you want to run him down inside and see if he can and split a gap, split a block between a tackle and a guard, and then make a play for a no loss, or maybe disrupt a puller, I think we're to that point right now. I don't think there's any ideas that this defense can. I don't think you could laugh at any of this. I mean, you could laugh at the way they're playing, but I think all possibilities are possibilities. Anything that you think of that might help this team get off the field more consistently needs to be thought about and put into play.
I'd rather put Solomon Thomas at edge because I've seen him do it.
Sure.
I'd rather play him at edge and make Perrion my fourth tackle or something.
Yeah, see, and I asked a question about Perrion Winfrey yesterday, and it was like the thought I was like, hey, we're bad right now, and we don't know if that would be an improvement. That's coming from somebody in the organization. They might not look at that as an improvement right now, which I think is.
Then they rat gambling.
Yeah,
they're not using resources properly, and it sounds like they're stubborn.
I think so too, and I'm because I was asked, well, when does he get back into the mix? And they're like, well, if there's an injury or something needs to be changed out. I kind of feel like we're to the point where things need to be changed out.
Desperation.
I do. I totally do.
You are wasting the number one offense in the league.
I just think I think it's just so unfortunate right now with what's going on with this defense, because absolutely what you're saying about the offense. But you can't tell me that. I think every guy that's coming off injury now needs to be put right back in there and see what you got.
If there's time to throw shit at the wall, now's the time. I
totally agree with you on that. I don't think you could. I don't think any idea is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this yesterday on the Cowboys break. I asked the question of my guys about considering putting Diggs at free safety. Sure. You know, if you're going to play some cover 3 stuff, you know, if you're going to play, you're going to need that extra defender down in the box. You're going to have to play single high. Who better than to play with a guy that's kind of a ball-hawking player back there? And especially if you're getting some of these corners back, maybe you can put Diggs back there and all of a sudden let him roam a little bit. Yeah, everybody's saying, oh, he didn't tackle worth a damn. You're not asking him to tackle. You're asking him to make plays on the back end. You need somebody down in the box, a Bell, Thomas. I mean, we saw Thomas miss a tackle down there. They need people down there to defend the run. But if teams are going to throw the ball, and this is a team when we get to the Commanders, they don't throw the ball down the field. They don't throw the ball well enough down the field. Yeah. You know, you might see a shot or two, but they don't throw it well enough like most teams do. But having maybe Diggs play as a safety, if you play in some single high stuff, might be an answer for these guys. But no idea is a bad one.
Yeah.
And any player coming off injury needs to be, let's get the practice window going and let's see what we got here.
100%.
Just throw things at it and see if you can make a difference. I mean,
Winfrey might be a really good pass rusher for
He might be a very good pass rusher, and he might be a very good run defender, a disruptive. You know, we saw what Carolina did to you in your run defense, or they saw what their ability to penetrate and to knock blockers around and keep the pullers. Your running game got choked because of disruptive rusher. We've seen Winfrey be that guy in practice. We've seen him in preseason games. We've seen him do these things, but to have the attitude about it that, well, maybe he's not as good as what you're working with, I think we're past that point.
Yeah.
I really do think we're past that point.
Man, I just looked up Mel Kiper's big board there.
Yeah.
His little first time. Right, it's some pass rushes and some linebackers on there.
Linebackers.
Right.
There's people that say the Dane Burglars of the world and the guys and gals that cover the draft, and they're all kind of stretching their legs now. They're getting ready. You know, halfway through the season, they're all kind of
buckle up.
Yeah. Here we go. You know, they're getting ready. You're starting to hear a lot of whispers about it, and you know, we've seen enough college football games to kind of know what's going on. Yeah. But it sounds like listening to these guys and gals talk that cover the draft, linebacker does seem like a very, very lucrative business to be in.
Let's talk about them, Bryan Broaddus. The Washington Football Wizards.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a team that's, you know, pretty balanced as far as balance could go. You know, they'll run the ball on you. They'll throw it around a little bit. Jayden Daniels is the guy here.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about every week is going to be different based on quarterback, not necessarily the offense. This is where it gets a little scary for me.
Mm-hmm.
You've run into quarterbacks that aren't very good this year.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to kick your ass in the air.
Sure were.
Bryce Young is a name. Caleb Williams is another name. Russell Wilson's another. Jayden Daniels may be one of the better quarterbacks that you've run into.
Yes, sir.
This year, Brian. Former LSU Tiger of yours. He spreads the ball around.
He does.
He beats you in any different part of the field. I love to look up the deep ball attempts.
Yeah, that's not as prevalent as some of the other things that he's been able to do.
They love to work short and get yak.
They do.
They can hit you in the middle. You know what I mean? They will attempt to hit you deep.
They will.
They will attempt it.
They will attempt it. Yes, sir.
Haven't always connected on it this year.
Yes, sir.
But damn, Brian, this will be the year. This will be the week to do it.
Well, you get Terry McLaurin back this week. Will probably help that if that's the
That'll
case.
be dangerous.
Yeah.
Scrambling, buying time, rolling the pocket, still dangerous as a runner. I thought that, you know, with his recent knee injury, maybe would have slowed him down as a runner.
Not really.
Not really. He's still putting his legs together, Brian.
But you know what, though? I've noticed, though, Voch, less designed runs by him.
That makes sense.
Okay, you know, usually with Cliff Kingsbury last year, you know, only Lamar Jackson had more designed runs for the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Since he's come back in week 5 after the Los Angeles Chargers game, that's when he came back. He missed a couple of games with the knee injury. They've run the ball on design runs with him 5 times, and he's only gained 1 yard.
Yeah.
So they might be thinking about, now, this might be a game where they're thinking, well, he's starting to feel healthy, you know, but do they want to take that chance with his knee again? Sure. So that's something you're kind of at the mercy of. Are there going to be more design runs, Or is that something that Cliff Kingsbury and the staff is really worried about, that they don't want to expose him to those?
It'll just make more sense to just keep him healthy. He's your guy. Keep him around for the long run.
Oh, no, we'd like to see that. Yeah, don't let him run.
But, Brian, I think this offense is like a really good system to work in.
Yeah.
Because even when Daniels was out, Mariota was fine in it.
Right.
But Daniels is a much better player. Brian, I think, and honestly, maybe moving forward, we need to reevaluate how we look at these Wednesday shows. Because I feel like everybody that you play against is going to be able to throw the ball against you. Everybody's going to be able to run the ball against you until you come out and prove us differently. But tell me what you saw from the Washington passing game with Daniels.
Okay, this is a couple of things that you need to focus on. And I like to break things down by pressures, touchdowns, sacks. I'd like to look at just kind of like coaches do with the cut-ups. There might be 11 plays where they're down in the red zone and you could see what they're doing down there. There might be 6 sacks. You kind of get an idea what the opponent's doing to them there. There's a couple of things you need to keep in mind on this football team. The Commanders, they run a no-huddle more than anybody in the National Football League. And you could tell how they want to play with pace. So all of a sudden now Dallas is in a situation where what does Dallas like to do? Dallas likes to get guys on and off the field. We've had a couple situations already this year where Dallas had 12 men on the field. Mm-hmm. The Commanders are going to play at pace. Right at about 64% of the time, they are going to run no huddle. That's 6 times more than anybody currently in the National Football League. So be aware of that. Another thing, Voch, you need to worry about with this football team, it plays with width. And the offensive line plays with width. This is one of when you talk about width, it's tackle to tackle. The Commanders are about 7 yards of width, which is the most width in the league this year. What does width do? The ability to run the ball inside. That gets their pullers, and they're a team that likes to down block. They like to pull. They like to get their tight ends involved. They are really, really, really big on their 11 personnel stuff is really good. And Krosky Merritt, the Voch absolutely told you if you were listening to the draft, you knew how much he really appreciated what this young man was able to do. He's fit very well with the Commanders. The way that they down block, the way that they pull. He's a very patient runner. He's explosive. They want to get the ball to the outside. That's something that they really, really pride themselves on. They'll get in some bunch formations. They'll crack everybody inside. They'll attack the corner. Krosky Merritt has done a really, really nice job when they hand him the football. They've done some stuff what we call orbit motion with Deebo Samuel. You see him come across. You see him loop behind everybody. They have blockers to the left. They got everybody pushed. They got everybody pinned. And now they hand him the football, and then he's able to run along the sidelines. They had a touchdown that way. So there's a lot of different ways they creatively run the football with their team. Now, throwing the football, what they do is they will get down into – when they get down into the red zone, I think there's some creative things that they do when it comes to getting the ball to the receivers. Zach Ertz, though, as a tight end, he is the most targeted. They get down the red zone. He is the most targeted guy they have down there. 4 catches, 3 touchdowns down there. Christian McCaffrey's brother, they used him in their very creative screen run the other day where they actually put Laramie, they acted like they had a trips formation, 3 receivers to the right. They set up the screen, they faked the screen, and then you got Luke McCaffrey, runs like he's going to block, and then he just takes off running. Ball goes down the field, wide open touchdown. So there's creative ways. We'll see with Terry McLaurin. There's been times where Terry McLaurin and Diggs have hooked up, and Diggs has done a really nice job. I was hearing some whispers that the Cowboys had been working on some more man coverage stuff in practice. Maybe they're getting ready to get this going, because if you look at the way that teams have played Daniels, is that he's been able to, he has trouble with, now you put 2 deep, you play zone against him, he kills you. You play man coverage against him, his passing percentage is under 50%. So Dallas has got to make a determination. Blitzing him also works really, really well. We said this last week, though. You never were able to get to the point where you got Bryce Young, where you're able to blitz him because they were running the ball so well. That's going to be the issue. Can Dallas choke the run and make this guy have to throw the football? And then can you play enough man coverage to make him have to make some throws against that? And maybe you get some pressure with him on some of the blitzes. This is the cat and mouse game. Dallas just is not very good. They can't hang their hats on many things. And that's the problem and the Commanders do a lot of things well. But the width helps them in the running game with their offensive line, and then their ability to no-huddle keeps you from substituting. And that's also something they take advantage of.
Bryan, it's the problem.
Yeah.
Man, like many quarterbacks, but they're all different in this way. Jayden Daniels looks a little weird when he gets pressured, Dak handles pressure really well, but like everybody doesn't, you know what I mean? Like Jayden Daniels doesn't handle pressure all that well.
He does not.
Man, I started watching this offensive line, Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love to find the scrub.
We try.
Laramie Tunsil still.
They never listen to us They never listen to us. We say that, right?
Laramie Tunsil playing at a high level, Bryan. Chris Paul is fine.
Yeah.
Tyler Broaddus is fine. I feel like the two guys that give up the most nonsense. Andrew Wiley gives it up a little bit. But I think the right tackle, the rookie, Josh Connerly, is really having a hard time over there, Bryan.
I think so, too.
Having a real hard time over there, Bryan. But this the kicker.
Yeah.
Man, this will be the one day Josh Connerly and Andrew Wiley go out there look like a Pro Bowler, Bryan.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound monotonous when I say this, but I'm making a point. And I'm a man of tradition, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Looking down that practice squad, Bryan. You got a character down there named Timothy McKay.
Yeah, Timothy McKay.
He's a guard.
Yep.
I feel like if they put Timothy McKay at right tackle, Bryan,
he might show up.
Be just fine.
Yeah.
They'll be just fine. And Bryan, I don't want people to think of being hyperbolic when I say this.
No.
But if you watch the Giants game, you felt good about attacking Hudson.
Yeah.
Hudson goes out, the third string Marcus Mbo goes in there. You still can't deal with him. Last week, I really thought the Cowboys had an opportunity versus the right tackle, the right and the left tackle. Taylor Moton goes out. They got this new character. It's almost like they did what I did, and they put some character I've never heard of at right tackle before. He was just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine, Bryan, in the Carolina game. So, man, the way I see it, even if Timothy McKay and Tyler Cooper go out there and play some damn tackle, I don't know how they're going to navigate with Laramie Tunsil. Tunsil's still a high-level tackle.
Yeah.
But, man, if we can't get it done versus the low-level guys, what do you do versus a high-level guy, three cool guys, and two guys that are playing kind of bad, but maybe you don't have the dudes to take advantage of that, Bryan?
Yeah, I think you got these guys nailed, and that's the issue. There's so many things that you tried to do. I mean, generate pass rush. I felt like you generated pass rush against the Jets, and that was two young tackles that you were able to kind of take advantage of. But you're absolutely right about Josh Connerly, the right tackle. That's the guy. If you're going to break somebody down in this game, and you mentioned also Andrew Wiley, that right side has had their issues when it comes to pressure. When you watch, if you break down all the sacks, Conley's been the guy. It's not slow-footedness. There's times where he will set and he will forget to bring his feet.
Yeah. And
as he's not bringing his feet, then these rushers, these edges have taken advantage of getting to the corner and then getting into Daniels or Mariota. They've been able to. But it's the right side of this Commanders offensive line that needs to be attacked. And let's all remember too what Tyler Broaddus did at times. If you put a guy on Tyler Broaddus, can you affect the way he snaps? We've seen that in the past. Put somebody up on his nose. There's been some struggles with some of the shotgun snaps. So there's a couple of different spots, but the most important one, I think, is at the right tackle spot. And I'd like to be able to say, okay, put Fowler over there, put Williams over there, put Ezeraku over there, just name your defensive end who the general manager said, oh, well, this is a strength of our team. Oh, this is a strength of our team. This edge group is a strength of his team. Somebody in the organization, Jerry, is telling you that's the strength of your team. Mm-hmm. Hold them accountable to make sure it is the strength of your team. Make sure that you're saying, okay, if you're telling me our edges are the strength of the team, let's go take advantage of somebody that has struggles blocking at the right tackle spot. If they go through another game where Josh Connerly has no pressure, gives up no sacks, then shame on the Dallas Cowboys for not knowing where the player was they need to attack.
And also, too, Brian, this is another week where Krosky-Mary is not the best blocker in the world.
No.
Last week, Rico wasn't the best blocker in the world. The week before that, Breece Hall wasn't the best blocker in the world. I feel like you could take advantage of these running backs. Cowboys really haven't done that. No. Honestly, too, Brian, you can let me know. I feel like we didn't see as many gap exchanges last week when we saw that it worked out for him.
Yeah.
I mean, last week versus the Panthers was really about run game kicking ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think we can see another one of those games. I think Krosky-Mary has gotten better every game that he's played. I think this will be another game where he comes out here and runs it up, assuming that the Cowboys can improve the run.
Well, what's going to happen likely, too, we talked about 12 personnel stuff that the Commanders get into, but, man, Krosky-Mary, almost 7 yards a carry out of 11 personnel. That would be the 3 wide receivers and the 1 back. And so that's something I could see them getting into 11 personnel. They're going to spread you out, and they're going to just run the ball. There's no reason for this Commander team to come in there and not feel like that they can not run the ball. I mean, Dallas has got to prove that they play much better at the point of attack. They can't get beat up front. They got beat up against Carolina, and Carolina did some very simple things, though. But some of the things they did was the pulling aspects, the down blocks, things like that, the edge. Yeah. Your tight ends destroyed your ends. Dallas cannot afford to have this group come in here and just pound them running the football and not even getting into a point of creating any pass rush at all. So they have got to be much better at the linebacker spot. They have to be better at the edge, the defensive tackle. I mean, it's a shame to say this, but this is a very tall ask for a defense that hasn't shown that it can handle any kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, Brian, it's unfortunate. Cowboys offense have been tearing it up, and you just feel like if you can get one stop, like one extra stop, 2 extra stops, then you'll be fine. You're only losing these games by a field goal, less than a touchdown there, Brian. So we'll see what they do, Brian. We'll see. I think it's going to come down to them taking players off the field. It's going to come down to maybe making changes in that way. So if you feel like they won't make changes, I believe you, because you typically have a really good feel for this thing. But if we're going to roll the same combo out there again, maybe we just got to hold on to dear life, and maybe at the bye week we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully Dallas's offense, and we'll get in that tomorrow with the Commanders. But, man, hopefully – it might turn into, once again, one of these shootouts, and you're going to have to play that, but they've got to figure some things out. And we'll always talk about this with Flues. Might have to play the uncomfortable game. It might turn into man coverage. It might turn into blitz. But if you're going to do that, you got to play run defense first. They got to figure out how to play some run defense and then make the Commanders just abandon the run.
Thank you very much, Mr. Broaddus. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to break down the Washington football team's defense and go over some injuries and some other little topics, assuming something comes out there. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us every single day. Man, I don't know if y'all noticed.
How about this lid, huh?
Yeah, go ahead and put up camera 3 for us, please. Man, you see,
stitched. This thing's stitched.
Embroidered is what they call it.
Got a crown logo on the side here, yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Beautiful, man.
Brian got the hot boy joint on there. You know what I'm saying? Trucker's cap is what they call it in the streets. You know what I mean? If y'all want anything that looks remotely as fantastic and handsome as this hat here, y'all please go to the link in our description and check out our merch. We've got a ton of stuff over there. So if you like the logo, the Doing All Right logo, or the crown logo right there, be sure to tap into whatever merch and whatever logo you like. Tap in with us. We appreciate it. And we appreciate, hey, look, we see y'all on Twitter.
Yeah.
Showing us, sending pictures of what you got, showing us the hoodies, the pink fuchsia hoodies been going crazy out there in the street.
Azaleas, that color, yeah.
They got shoes that color, and they ain't got nothing else to match. So they gonna get the hoodie to match their shoes. We love it and appreciate it. Tag us to it on socials, and we'll definitely see that. Follow us on those socials while you at it. Twitter, IG, TikTok, we go crazy on all those, so please go over there if you are into that. We put short form content over there. People ask all the time, Brian, just 2 more housekeeping things. Do we have audio? Yes, we're on your audio platforms too. So if you're a trucker, you're driving around, you don't want to do the YouTube thing, then you can listen to us on the audio. Also, in case y'all ain't know, I know you're on the channel, you're on the YouTube channel, you see the YouTube shorts down there. Those YouTube shorts aren't just what we said on this show.
Yeah.
After we done here, we're going to put out a whole nother YouTube short that we didn't talk about right here. We ask questions every single day. So please check out the YouTube shorts and do it like that. All right. That's Bryan Broaddus on VOCHLOMBARDI. We'll catch y'all next time. Corral.